Recap brought to you by our friends at Worx. Always well
hung.
Oh,
bad segue.
Just like Cameron McAdoo.
Bad segue.
Nope,
perfect segue. Does McAdoo earn the segment?
Ooh, man, I don't know.
Nah, he just got
to. Can we just add him to it? Always well hung, like Justin Barsha, Jason Anderson, Jett Lawrence, and now Cameron McAdoo.
Basically, anybody that's in good physical condition that rides a dirt bike.
I mean, I've heard if you lose, every 10 pounds you lose, you gain an inch. So these guys, that's why. If they're average to start with, they start losing this weight for racing. Woo!
I don't know. I think McAdoo earns the right to be the Worx sponsored rider.
Okay, well, we'll make McAdoo the Worx sponsored rider here. Then, if you guys want to see it, there will be. There's pictures.
I just want to talk
about just DM Cole. He's got the pictures.
Worx does great downspouts.
Wow, that was,
dude. I gotta pee. I can't keep laughing like this because I'm gonna piss myself. Accidentally.
All right, let's get through this 450s.
All right. So Jett, whole shot, leads, manages. My buddy was standing there. As soon as he went to the lead there, I said, watch this. He's going to go 3 to 5 seconds out and manage it from there. And I shit you not, I kept pointing to him, and I was like, look, 2.5. Look, 3. Look, 4.5. And he's like, damn, dude, good call. This is exactly what he does.
This is kind of what...
He just needed a start.
This is kind of... I mean, that's the thing. This is kind of like what everybody has done so far this year that's gotten a start. We were watching the Weed Show, Dazzy. It was good. I mean, you got the start, but until he comes from 7th, nobody's going to come from 7th and win. I
just like to point out, we are undefeated
in a dry
20-minute moto.
Undefeated. Still couldn't pull it together in those Triple Crown races, but yeah,
and we won.
But he's undefeated in everything.
But he's undefeated in everything else.
One point down.
Everybody's just digging for him.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's back on it.
Did not get booed yesterday.
No.
And I was listening for that. Did not get booed.
Look,
honestly, cheers were Plessinger, though.
Yeah.
It really doesn't surprise me because, remember, we had this conversation after San Diego. Would we really know anything? And I said we wouldn't know anything until we got to Daytona. And I still don't think I know anything because what he did last night is what is actually happening.
I'm not classifying that we know anything yet.
No.
We got to get through next week. And then
because next week he could get a 6th-place start and get 3rd, and then that's the end of it because nobody's...
it wasn't a flawless ride by any means either.
No.
He made some big mistakes in that other rhythm lane.
He did what he needed to do and what he did all of outdoors. He got a start. He sprinted away, had a clear track to run his lines, conserved energy, and then if Chase would have made a push, he'd had a little bit more in the tank. And he would have done what he always did, or all of outdoors, pretty much his entire career up to this point. It's just I don't know anything because that's what he did at A1, and that's kind of what we've seen from anybody that's got a start in this class.
This is honestly what I what I think I will honestly bet they've been working starts here because the way it's basically start cross at this point, there's no way that's not their main focus here.
No, but like I said, if he goes to frickin' Glendale this weekend and he gets a 6th-place start, you're not going to convince me that he's going to win. You get on the box for sure. But you're not going to convince me that if he gets a 6th-place start and Sexton's out front, that he's going to run him down because it's just not going to happen.
If he does, though, does that change your opinion on how the rest of this series is going to go?
If he does, but we're talking about hypotheticals, and there's no proof that he's going to.
I'm not saying
there's no proof that anybody's going to.
I'm not saying there's proof that anybody's going to do it. I'm just saying, if for some reason here, Glendale, Dallas,
I saw him at Triple Crown have a 12 minutes to run down Eli, and he couldn't. No, I just don't see it happening.
12 isn't 20 plus 1. That's all.
12 with a clear track in your Jett Lawrence is still 12 with a clear track in your Jett Lawrence.
Okay, but it's still not 20 plus 1.
He wasn't catching him. So what was going to happen? You think that if he had 20 in that main, he would have caught him?
Cooper Webb didn't catch him either, but we all know that Cooper Webb comes on those last 8 minutes. So I'm just going hypothetical here, man. If he does that,
so do you believe that if that had been a 20-minute main, he'd have caught Eli?
I don't know, maybe.
What data?
I don't know.
I'm going to go with he crashed in the whoop, so no.
Well, that's probably true too.
I don't see it. I don't see it. I see Jett. If he gets starts, he wins. If he doesn't, then he doesn't win. Just like everybody else. If you get outside of getting a 3rd-place start, I don't think anybody, if they get worse than a 5th-place start, wins a race this year.
We just don't really know yet.
We don't.
Still figuring this out.
We don't. The two mud races were a real quagmire.
Yeah. But I will tell you, if that hypothetical situation happens here in the next couple of rounds, either Glendale or Dallas in a few weeks here, where he gets a bad start and then comes through, this series all of a sudden goes back to the way it was after he won A1 of shit, this is going to get boring. Because at that point, then it's like,
for sure.
He's
but I could also
guy.
tell you that Chase Sexton could get a start and everybody else doesn't, and he does the same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
so like, it's basically just inserting Jett's name.
Yeah.
I could say that for everybody else. I could tell you right now that if Cooper Webb gets a start last night with the way he was riding, he wins.
Cooper Webb was good.
I just
we'll get to him in a sec.
I don't know. I still don't know anything because none of these guys have been able to get worse than a second place start and win a main.
No, but
none of them have. And
everybody who's gotten the start has won.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if it's Jett or not. And I'd say the same thing if Eli would have rode like he did in that last main last night at A2. It doesn't matter because none of them, yet again, have proven that if they get anything worse than a second place start, they win a race.
Yeah.
And we all know that none of them are going to get a start every race.
Yeah.
Jett Lawrence is going to get another bad start. Sexton is going to get another bad start. It's just a matter of fact. You can test all you want and do starts, but it's going to happen.
Yeah. Well,
Daytona is the only race where I could be like, yeah, I could see it. I could see one of these guys coming through the pack because it's Daytona.
Maybe not on that one line S track.
but
Isn't the track supposed to be a lot different this year, though?
I don't remember.
Yeah, if they move the sprinkler heads, then yeah, maybe.
Look, I don't know. He's the first guy to win 2 races this year here. Like I said, he's won both of the dry 20-minute ones, so that's cool. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying we're right here in this title, though, 1 point down.
Yeah, I think I know I'm jumping ahead, but I think this title fight comes down to I think Plessinger's going to slide out of here a little bit. It's going to be a Jett, Cooper, and a Sexton battle.
I think so too. Sexton got second.
He did what he needed to do and not throw it away.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be really honest. That 450 main was so boring that like I wasn't really paying attention.
Got home
Did you really?
They were really honing in on where Cooper and because when he got into third and he stalled out because they were really focusing on him, especially with how good he was getting through the whoops, and then they just kind of moved because he was not making any time on Chase, and then they really honed in on AP and Coop.
Well, I do want to point out Kenny had the fastest lap in that main.
Yes.
That doesn't surprise me at all, dude. He was on it.
And you know what? It's weird. Eli had the second fastest lap in the main.
Kenny got third place, by the way, everybody. Since we're kind of going through both of them here, because there's not a lot to talk about here. This was kind of like they start and then
it was they
so
just kind of all
boring.
finished where they started. Like
somebody made a point of this, and we talk about this all the time of the new generation and the way Jett's going to win, and if he breaks all these records, hypothetical, like the way he rides as opposed to like Ricky and Stu. And we differ on this, but I think you would agree. It is a bummer that these guys have gotten to the point that they've overanalyzed and gotten so calculated because I'm here to tell you, Chase, I'm not knocking. He did what he needed to do. He's got the point lead by 1 last year. Let's be real. He probably would have thrown that away easily.
100%.
Yeah, he's riding his own pace.
If you rewind even to 2012, and that's RV in second, win or not, RV tries to go after Jett Lawrence.
Yeah.
And then you can go back even further, obviously, to Stu and Ricky and Chad. So we talk about this, and guys are, they're staying healthy, and they're doing what they need to do for their own careers. They're getting a lot of paid, a lot of money.
This started with
game
Dungy.
But see, but you guys, you talk about the boringness. And this is where I'll counter with you that with that generation was not boring. Because if that's RV,
well,
RV runs, whether RV wins or hits the deck.
I don't know. I was at the end of that. I kind of was at the tail end because I got back into
you don't
this like
think that
2014.
Stu, he goes after him, whether he lawn darts or not.
So Stu would have made it interesting, yeah, because he would have gone after him, but he would have lawn darted. That's the thing.
But it would have been a hell of a lot more interesting than what happened last night.
But I think outside of him lawn darting, it's like the start of the 250. Like the start of that 250 race is what made that 250 main even remotely interesting. Outside of that, and I saw this in
this
those
goes back to Barsha and Baggett.
I saw this in those early years when I was back into it here in 14, 15, that kind of time. There were races I went to also where I was like, man, this is fucking boring. Like halfway in, like yesterday, there was 8 minutes left in that 450 main, and my buddy looked at me. He's like, this is boring now, and I'm like, yeah, this is not an exciting main. I'm sorry.
I'm just here to tell you, and I respect the way guys are.
Yesterday, man, there was nowhere to make time.
But I still say, though, you take the guys of the yesteryear, and whether they catch them and make something happen or hit the deck, those races, they weren't boring because the guys actually were willing to lay it out in line. Once again, different time, different way of making money, whatever. But that's Stu, that's Ricky, Chad, that's RV, that's you talk about the 250s. That's Barsha when he was winning all those titles.
Yeah, I mean,
they go after him.
I mean, you're not wrong, but at the same time, like the only thing that would make that exciting, because everything else was going to be boring, just like it was yesterday. There would just be that one highlight reel moment of like, oh man, he threw it away.
Stu trying to go into Stu mode. Every lap would be on the edge, bro.
So they're just, I don't know. like I said, I came in at the tail end of that, so I wasn't prime that, but there were still races back then that I was sleeping through.
If RV got a start back in the day, like nobody was going to run him down.
Yeah.
But like if RV's in 10th and he's buried, my point is that the days of dudes laying it all out to win races is over.
It's the Dungy effect, man.
And that is the one thing I hate about this new generation.
The Dungy effect, dude.
And I don't. You can say that, and you're right, and I don't like it.
It's like the Ricky effect with the training, and then we got the Dungy effect here of just podiuming. Then I don't
Podiuming.
Podiuming.
My point is that I just don't like it.
Not throwing it away. So I mean, yeah, it sucks, but this is where we're at because guys don't want to throw away titles anymore. They watched James Stewart do it. And yeah, it was cool. He went really fast, but it was like the amount of times he hit the fucking deck. No way. So we just won't see that anymore. So Cooper Webb, 4th place, so fast in qualifying, like ridiculous.
Dude,
I was shocked.
Scrubbing shit.
He was
turn down.
Yep.
Weird front end tuck in the heat race though.
In the sand.
Very uncharacteristic for him.
Yeah, that was.
That's
strange.
what happens when you have a fucking left hand or a 180 sand corner with rollers on the inside.
Yeah, I mean he was getting through him for the first half.
I mean they were all sizing up though in that free practice and stuff where they were coming out of that roller before you entered the corner and they were trying to double into the apex.
Yeah, there was Deegan and Jett were doing it.
Fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they also realized they actually couldn't get the bike planted at the apex.
Yeah,
rocks and planting that bike in the outside was something to watch. Though.
That sand. They didn't water the sand enough though. It was super loose. Tom was talking about that in the qualifying show yesterday. How dry it was.
Over Roxon, but
what? Oh well, no. We were talking about Kenny there.
I
mean, just
third, so
that's Kenny.
Ken was super happy with his riding yesterday. He rode super well.
He's always been really good at Glendale, man.
Yeah,
he's always been really good at Glendale. I could see him getting
so is Eli.
I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, we'll talk.
We'll get to that. Yeah. So kind of a bummer deal for Webb to only come out 4th with the way that day was going yesterday.
But he's still in the points.
I honestly believe that if he gets a better start last night, not saying he wins, he puts up more of a fight with Jett than Chase did.
Yeah, but you are correct. Stuff is starting to separate here because now it's only the top 8 that are still even remotely in this. Once you get to 8th once you get to 9th and 10th, they're like 39 points out or something already, so they're done. But the top 8 are still in it, so we'll see where we're at once we get through Glendale here as to how that's working out. Jason Anderson gets 5th.
Dude, that heat race with Jett, I don't understand what the hell he was doing.
Super impressed of those boys riding it clean.
They did. I don't think there
was anything that was wrong.
Before when the whole incident happened, there was no dirty riding.
And the thing is that even Jett was like, "Oh, I'll just lay up in the top of this corner because I don't want to get taken out by getting smarter."
The most impressive thing I saw was Anderson cut down into the whoops, though. I don't know how he got so much traction.
I don't know either. Yeah, that was wild.
I just don't know what he was doing with that line, trying to go over the table to go 3-3, and he couldn't time it perfect because he couldn't get the front end to dip. He kept landing front wheel flat and dipping it. I'm like, dude, why don't you just protect the inside? You have enough of a gap on Jett. Take away his line and just go on off.
Yeah.
And what was it, like 3 laps in a row? He blew it. I'm like, what the? I'm like, what are you doing?
Jett blew that line a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that landing was like vertical.
Mm-hmm. They in the main though, there was like that a rut, and they were just kind of like popping over.
Well, you almost a lot of them, and Jett was doing this. He was landing in the pocket to go 3, and then it was preloading, and you almost had to just be like, fuck it, just hold it wide open.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So AP 6th, he was spicy in the heat there, winning that.
He worked his way through for the
main. He was one of the guys that was moving. I was watching him too. He was moving forward.
Terrible in practice by his standards.
Yeah,
he's terrible in practice.
I think the confidence was carrying him a lot yesterday, but now I think that starts to fade here.
Man, I don't know.
Fades into that.
Lots of cowboy hats in the stadium.
Lots of them.
With the way he worked through the pack, I don't really know if I agree with that, man. If he'd have stalled out in like 7th or 8th.
Yeah, he worked through the pack pretty impressively.
Maybe, but
he's not winning this title, but I have to disagree with the whole I think he's going to kind of fade off. I think if he keeps riding like this,
you think he's in it?
I think he's not winning the title. I'm not going to go that far, but I don't see him dropping off mightily because I think he's just going to have rides like this where even if he's not at the front, he can work his way through to close to a top 5. So
yeah. Dylan Ferrandis 7th.
He was spicy earlier in that main.
Was he?
He was in
I
third.
I didn't watch him much.
Dude,
I watched him pass Tomac straight up on Tomac before Tomac blew up. But
man, that hot outdoors is going to be
so good.
Also interesting to note, he is on Dunlop tires now.
Good.
Is he?
Ditched the Pirellis already.
Interesting. Hunter Lawrence, 8th. Okay,
This
he
is
was
how
just
this year's
there.
gonna go.
Again, I didn't watch him much all day. It was nothing spicy
Didn't
with
have
him.
anything all day.
Just gurgling his way through.
Yep. Justin Cooper, 9th. Question for you. Is Justin Cooper a rookie?
In Supercross?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, he's got an asterisk because of those other races.
Okay.
Last year.
All right. That was a question that was presented to me this week.
I don't know how you can be to a rookie to the whole season if you want to be technical, yes, but he rode Supercross races already, so no.
Yeah.
You can't be a rookie if you've already ridden
all right.
races.
Hey, I'm just asking the questions here.
For the end of the year when they give away a Rookie of the Year award, yes, he's in contention because this is his first full season.
But he won't win that in Supercross anyway because they're going to give it to Jett.
No, yeah.
Well, Jett already won it, yes,
Yeah.
but
So, but I was interested in your answer to that question
Yeah, I don't
because
think
of the
so.
discussion we had about Jett.
Yeah, I
so
don't
I
think
just
so.
wasn't.
No, he already rode 450
Okay,
Supercross
all right,
races.
all right.
And he
I'm
did
just-
well at them.
I'm just asking the questions here. Okay.
wow, that went really well. Let's move on.
All right. Eli Tomac, 10th.
Yeah.
Yo,
There's a lot of comments
all right,
coming
so
through
I've
about.
heard I've heard arm pump, I've heard the bike. I honestly think what it comes down to, as soft as that track was, I think that Achilles flared up.
Maybe he's
I don't
got
know,
the
man.
braces on the boots.
I don't know. I don't know, man. It was weird because he ran the second fastest time, so speed was there at least at one point.
Yeah, must have been early.
And I don't know.
That was a weird ride.
I mean,
That was a classic Eli Tomac weird ride.
He's done this before, especially late in his career, where he just doesn't feel it. He's like,
Guys were texting me
Yeah,
asking,
but
and
if he
I was
wants,
like,
if
arm
he,
pump.
if he wants to win a title, he can't with the boys he's up against
Yeah.
now. He's gonna have to.
He's still in it,
Risk
but
it a little bit.
he's one of them that's getting towards that bottom end too. Of
look,
like,
you got to go win Glendale. If he goes and win Glendale, it doesn't matter.
Like Glendale is a very, very important race for Eli
yeah,
Tomac.
like he's 6th.
No, no.
So
Oh, no, he can't.
He's spicy in Glendale, so this will be a very interesting race.
If he comes out and doesn't get on the box in Glendale,
Oh, yeah,
then there's
then-
an issue, and we
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
start talking about that. But
I don't-
For right now, I'm still going to hold judgment.
I don't. Everybody, like I said, they said pumped up, like, oh, it's the bike. I just, honestly, man, I really think as soft as that track was, I think it might have just been something as that Achilles flared up.
Well, let's put it this way: there was a lot of he probably should retire comments.
That's the
which is
stupidest shit I've
Yeah,
ever
I
heard.
know
Yeah,
it's
stupid.
dumb.
How
but
do you go?
it's-
Lots
Yeah.
of cheers for him in opening ceremonies.
Yep.
Yeah,
People
there
are
should be.
glad he's there.
Yeah, it
Should
was
be,
like
man.
it was like him and Jett were pretty close, and then AP was the.
Because here's the thing:
crowd
what,
Maybe
he,
he's a Midwest
what
boy,
he's
though,
done, what he's done, it's not a lot. It's very rare that a lot of people get to see a living legend of a sport that you're into
Yeah,
right off into the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
When Eli's done, obviously Barsha and Ando and Mookie are part of that. That's the end of an era.
any
Like
chance?
that's an end of an era right there.
Any chance if, let's say, the next few rounds don't go well and we fall out of this title contention, that
Packs it
we pull the parachute early here?
I don't think that's of his character. I think he made
Yeah,
a
I don't think
commitment.
so.
Okay,
I don't
mean,
think Pops would let him do that.
Yeah, I think he's a guy, like a good old boy that's he committed.
Okay.
He's gonna keep his word.
And I hope he does, because
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to keep watching him race, because like you said, living legend, literally racing at this point.
Yeah, like when he can turn
But-
it on and he's on, like that
Yeah.
last race at the Triple
Oh,
Crown
yeah.
is like it's there still.
Mhm. Yep.
Which is why, like I said, makes me believe that it was something the Achilles just might have flared up. And that's the unfortunate thing. It was an injury like that.
Or it could be like Stu talks about, like maybe little Susie thoughts flare up and you just go, nope, I'm not going to go
Which-
that fast, which could be too.
When a
so.
track's going to get that soft and that rutted, like,
It's
dude.
weird hearing Stu say that because he never had those thoughts.
Stu
Stu only has-
didn't have kids though before he retired, did he?
Yeah. He had one. He had a son.
I
I don't think so. I thought his kids all came after he retired.
They both came at the same time. I know that.
I
They're
think he had
twins,
him. I
aren't
think
they?
he had a kid his last year. And when I mean last year, I mean like 2016.
Oh, then
Aren't they twins?
I don't know.
Then maybe. Well, I don't know. Are they that old?
Yeah.
I mean, they're old enough to be on
His
PW.
kid-
They're
yeah.
probably 5-6
7
years
or 8.
old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
Probably 2016. If you want to count
know.
2016 as Stu's last year, I don't.
Let's see if I can figure it out.
Whatever.
All right. Stu
I'm
goes
done, just took him
down.
out.
Speaking of Stu goes down in the whoops, 11th place. Yep.
Bro, give me that thing.
Hey,
I'm gonna throw it at the wall
he-
because that's like it's not even panic. It's like throw the button at the wall.
Is he also vying for that Kawasaki ride?
I think he's vying for a beta ride.
Well, maybe.
Ooh.
What,
Things
what
will
makes
go
you
way
wait?
worse.
Hold on. What makes you say that?
That was a joke.
Oh, I was like,
That
have you
bike's-
heard
That
something?
bike's worse.
Maybe.
What
who
has he
knows?
done that allows him to keep getting factory rides, man?
His
Stu.
last name.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, in the heat race, he's the only guy that I seen make up a lot of time on everybody. Like,
Yeah.
he's got speed. It's just those weirdo little bounces.
Funny thing. My buddy goes, man, that guy with the long hair, he's really flying. I go, well, his brother was the fastest man to ever ride a dirt bike. So he's kind of got that in his genes. He was like, oh. And I was like, yeah. And then I explained.
Saw the dreads flying.
Yeah, and then I explained the dreads situation. And he goes, oh, all right. And I'm like, yep, there you go, buddy.
Yeah, man. I with same thing with Craig. And we might as well just lump Craig into this. With
No, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
I
don't know what it is, man. Like, all the other steel frame bikes seem to be doing all right. Maybe Husqvarna's just like the redheaded stepchild.
Maybe. Who knows? Barsha's 12.
Or management just doesn't
Speaking
know
of
what
steel
the hell
frame,
to do.
Barsha 12. His manager, I'm sure you
He's
listened
just
to it.
kinda
Yeah,
building
he's
his way
like,
back
give us a
up.
few more rounds here. He's still getting
I
back.
don't. Yeah, once again, give it till like Birmingham maybe,
Yep.
He never comes on until end of this half.
which he did last year too. Man, he came on strong about the halfway point, and then he
Yeah.
started reeling off top fives and podiums.
Yeah, when he was in Indy, just taking front wheels out.
Craig,
Probably should have won that race to be honest with you, but
Craig 13th. Hit that button again, please. Thank you.
bro, I don't. I don't
bad.
know.
Is
It's not good. He does not look like himself.
Is he like back at Star Racing, like just begging for when
There
Tomac
was
retires?
there was people that were making comments like that. They were like, "Oh, do you think when Christian's contract runs up at Husky because Eli's going to be gone, does he
What
go
team
back to
of-
Bobby?"
Wouldn't surprise me. To be
What team
honest
is Marzak or whatever involved with nowadays?
Marshak? I don't know.
Jeff
None-
Marshak?
None that I
None.
know of yet.
None. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, whatever one he buys into, that's where Christian.
I don't think he's involved in any of them.
No, if he'd have
At
been
this
involved
point.
in anything, it would have been the Dylan Ferrandis Ziggy experiment.
Yeah, factory connection comeback. but
And who
that's
knows?
something.
Maybe that.
Maybe I don't
Transpire.
know.
Yo, Paige, call your papa.
I mean,
Call
she's
stepdad.
riding on 1.1 million TikTok followers. I think they can do some brand deals and be fine.
Probably. Shane Sins, aka Shane McElrath,
I don't care anymore with Shane.
14th.
Shane's just gonna
It's
Shane.
okay. I mean, that's-
Shane's gonna do Shane McElrath things.
This is him.
He's just there.
Yeah.
He's literally just there.
He is him.
Yep.
He is him.
Speaking of Suzuki's, Derek Drake 15th
Good for him.
Good for
And-
Derek Drake.
and Chiz 16th.
Wow, the Suzuki's just
Suzuki
coming in hot.
train right there.
Yep.
Dino 17th. Okay.
He got into it with somebody early. and
Wow,
went out.
shocking!
Did he?
It wasn't Vince Freeze this time.
Well, it wasn't. No.
By the way, did we hear why Vince and Freckle weren't there?
I don't know.
Moto Concepts didn't want to do the weirdo run all the way to Detroit.
That sounds about like them.
I mean, they're going to save money on the transfer. I mean, they run
Save
They
money
run
on
their
contracts.
business.
They run a tight ship.
Whatever. It's not like they used to.
Michigan's own Mitchell Harrison, 18th. Dude, gnarly crash. Look for it. It's coming on the channel
Bro,
here
I
soon.
love how people keep putting Brighton on there when he hasn't lived in Brighton in forever.
Is that his first 450 man?
First 450 main. Yep.
Well, he's only done 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, wait till I show you this crash. It's fucking crazy. He Superman's off the side. Like he's had a couple.
I still don't think it was worse than the boner.
No,
Area
no,
did
it
today,
wasn't.
too.
It wasn't. But it was still
the Motor
gnarly.
was a pretty good one.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
could have went bad. Like, dude, he bounced, but that could have went way worse.
Hold on here. I'll pull it up. It's
Yeah,
like one of the
let's
first
see it.
videos
Pull it
here
out.
that I got.
Really?
What?
You just said pull it out.
Yeah, get your mind out of the gutter, dude. We're past that.
No, that's not it. Is this it? Let's see here.
Get out.
Oh yeah, that's it right there.
Okay.
Great radio.
Oh,
That was a smooth dismount, though.
was.
that was a very good
That was.
sidewinder side saddle.
That was
That
about
was-
as best of a
Can we
Superman.
let's watch that again here.
Yeah, go for it. I'll keep running down the list here.
On, off, knack.
Now, had that Honda Tough Block not been perfectly placed, that would have gone a lot
that would have
worse.
been way worse.
That was a
I
good
was so
dismount.
pumped, dude. That's like the third video I shot of the day. I was like, well, my day's over. I gotta crash, so we're good.
Cade's front flip was pretty good too.
I didn't see that one. I was sad about it.
Yeah.
Did you see the video of him in the hills?
No,
There was a video of him out riding in the hills, and he didn't make the jump all the way, and just kind of landed and
that's a very
planted.
Clayson thing to do.
Yeah, and he just planted and went over the bars. That's exactly what he did.
That's exactly what he did on the backside of the finish.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just lands in the soft
Is
stuff.
there a
and
video of
sticks.
that on Instagram or something?
I
It's,
don't know.
Of him in the hills.
No, of him crashing in the LCQ or whatever.
Yeah,
yesterday.
both are out there.
And it really wasn't even that gnarly. He just landed in the soft stuff
Hmm.
and bike stuff.
All right. So Tristan Lane 19th.
Wow,
Benny.
whoa, wait, what? He was in the main?
Yeah.
Got like what, third in the LCQ?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess I didn't. Wow, I don't know where I was.
Benny got 20th.
I saw him just kind of riding around.
Benny had a rough day, and I'm surprised he even rode. Dude, he went down hard
a couple times. Yeah.
Justin are not going well in the beta camp.
No. Justin Hill 21st.
Shocking.
But hey, Beta's got plenty of Fiji water.
Hey, man.
Plenty. I saw that shit sitting out there.
You know who else drinks Fiji?
Oh boy, who?
Degans drink Fiji.
Do they really?
So you know what I do? I drink Fiji.
Still getting those microplastics in.
All right, and Freddie 22nd made it 2 laps before something happened.
Yeah, and you know what? Freddie shouldn't even
Match
made
the
it.
number.
Freddie shouldn't even made it in the main. Had Jerry Robin all over
I
Jerry
know.
Robin. Not even
Jerry Robin everywhere.
So Robin laid an egg.
Not even.
Unbelievable.
Not even within distance of Jerry. And Jerry's got like half a bike length. And Jerry just decides to squid out and just...
Yeah.
Like, dude, what the... What?
I don't know.
What are you doing, Jerry?
I don't know.
I
Don't
don't
ask me.
And then I think Freddie got spooked by the fact that Jerry, and he's like, oh, shit.
Hill is back to...
Doing Justin Hill things?
Doing Justin Hill things, like pulled off, sat in the pits for like 4 laps, and then they left.
Really? Well, he was in like 14th, 15th for a while.
Yeah, and then he
used
pulled
my
in,
wild card. I thought he was going to get 15th.
Then he pulled in the pits, sat there for like 4 laps, and then they left. I don't know what was wrong.
Anyways.
All right. Anything else with the 450s there? All right. That's been your 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutterworks. Always well hung, just like Cameron McAdoo.
Cameron Wackadoo.
Sackerdoos.
Sacking all over the place.
Boy.
Plays
All
hacky
right.
sack.
Anything else you boys want to touch on here before we leave? Question for you. Do you